My daughter Tara is only 9, but she's quite gifted and uncommonly self-sufficient for her age. That's why I hesitated to intervene between her and her teacher, thought maybe I should let them work it out. But then again, I'm a mother. Sometimes I just can't help myself. I invited Ms. Moneypenny over for tea Saturday afternoon. She agreed to come, understanding I intended for us to talk about the issues she and Tara were having. I was optimistic, perhaps foolishly, but I was. "Please, Ms. Moneypenny," I said, "have one of these unreasonably large and sugary cinnamon rolls I picked up from the mall." "They do look mighty scrumptious," she replied. "Maybe I will." She reached her plate forward. I heaved a roll onto it. "Isn't it nice that Ms. Moneypenny came to visit today?" I asked Tara, who was slumped back on the couch, arms crossed over her chest. "I guess, for you, maybe." "Tara," I half scolded. "That's not very nice. You know better than to be rude to your elders." Tara harumphed, then pushed herself from the sofa and stomped toward the kitchen. I could hear her rattling about, under the cabinets, perhaps. "It's okay," Ms. Moneypenny said. "Tara is quite strong-willed, which can be a very positive attribute. But she's still figuring out that it's not always okay to exert her will onto others." "Oh? What do you mean?" "Well," Ms. Moneypenny began, setting her teacup back on its saucer, "most children aren't as aggressive as Tara, nor as self-assured. To be honest, I think the other children are afraid of her." "Afraid?" I asked. "Not to worry," Ms. Moneypenny continued. "I'm sure it's nothing a little remedial discipline can't correct." Even I bristled at that. Tara was exceptional, she wasn't in need of remedial discipline. "Perhaps you'd consider letting her stay after school several times a week," Ms. Moneypenny said. "I think I might could do her some good." Before I could counter, Tara came back, a spoon in one hand and a large yellow box of rat poison in the other. She set the box on the coffee table, then reached inside it with the spoon and came out with a heaping mound of the white powder, which she carelessly sprinkled over what was left of Ms. Moneypenny's cinnamon roll. She then went in for another spoonful, which she stirred into Ms. Moneypenny's cup of tea. "I think you're hungry," Tara said to Ms. Moneypenny. Ms. Moneypenny stared dumbly at Tara, then she picked up her roll and crammed all of it into her mouth. "And thirsty," Tara said. Ms. Moneypenny picked up her cup and drank every last drop of the tea. She set her cup down, then gave each of us a curious look, then she stood and walked out the front door. Once she'd gone, I looked at Tara and gave her a disapproving shake of my head, then asked, "Where'd you send her?" "Nowhere," Tara replied. "She's my elder, she can choose for herself." I met my husband John about 10 years ago and we have been married for 3. I love John to bits, but he has this extremely irritating habit of always wanting everyone to be paying attention to him. My family had warned me against him as they took an instant dislike to him for some reason. They never explained to me what happened, but all of them would very standoffish with him. My twin sister Amelia was the only one who seemed to like him. She would always try and include us in every family event, even when people were giving John the stink eye. She was the first person I told when I found out I was pregnant, to the annoyance of John, who found out when he got home from work. He acted like a hurt puppy, as he feels like I shouldn't have told her before him. Amelia has been my rock throughout this whole pregnancy, as she has helped me buy clothes that will be comfortable. She had also read every baby book, and we have had so much fun joking about what to call the baby. John, on the other hand, has been a complete asshole during this time. He has been claiming that he has been suffering sympathy pains from day one. If I claim that my feet are swollen, then 5 minutes later he will say it is happening to him too. The day my water broke was hectic, as I chose Amelia and John to be in the room with me. Amelia for emotional support and John because I had no other choice. John kept complaining about pains and I could see the looks of disgust on the nurses' faces, as he wouldn't shut up the whole time. Even after I gave birth to a beautiful baby girl, he still kept complaining. I could see the look of horror on Amelia's face, as he pulled down his trousers in the middle of the room. I stood there in shock, as we watched a minuscule hand crawl out of the tip of his genitalia followed by a tiny body. I couldn't believe my husband wouldn't even let me have one day where I was the focus of everyone's attention. I told her that we'd never be apart, and I always preserved my word. Even after we had disagreements and arguments, we stayed together. Even after she was unfaithful, we stayed together. However, that doesn't mean her punishment was not taken. It took a lot of preparation. Lots of book reading and practicing for her punishment. But it was all worth it. She lied to me, and now she was paying the price. So, even as I dragged her down the basement stairs by her hair, I knew we would always be together. Her screams brought tears of joy to my eyes, for I knew that despite everything I was going to do to her, we would stay together. The basement was empty, except for a table piled atop with various medical supplies. The walls glowed with the ancient symbols I had drawn across them, just for this moment. I really hoped this spell would work. It took me quite long to prepare, after all. Now was my chance to try it out on something other than a stray dog or cat. The fur was getting on my nerves anyways, and they bite more than expected. As I sliced, and scratched, and banged, and cut into her restrained body, it did not take long for the life to fade from her eyes. And as soon as it did, I waited. I waited. And I waited, as the life slowly returned into her beautiful eyes. I grinned. My spell worked. No matter how long I decided to continue punishing her, or how much damage I will do to her body, I know, we will be together forever. Seven. That was the number of stairs leading back up and out of Ryan's grandmother's old cellar. He knows this because it is the mantra that gave him enough courage anytime she needed him to either retrieve or store something down there. Ryan hated and feared that cellar. There was only a single source of light and the bulb frequently needed replacing on account of burning out. It was all like the darkness fought against being disturbed. But all that was when he was a kid. Now, as an adult, here to clean out the last of his grandmother's things, the cellar is not nearly as scary as he once recalls. Ryan is reminiscing, and folding an old dress into a box, when the light flickers. Dropping the dress, Ryan is walking for the steps by the time the light further strains, then burns out, pitching the cellar into darkness. However, he does not panic. 7. Ryan recalls in his head. His hand blindly reaches out until finally touching the railing at the start of the stairs. 7. He finishes counting internally. He reaches for the door. 7? Ryan questions aloud. He reaches forward, but unable to feel the door. Denial and hope are neighbors. Ryan somehow convinces himself that he possibly miscounted. He takes a few more steps forward. Still no door. The dark is feeling increasingly colder and emptier. By another 13 steps, the childhood terror has returned. Ryan is panic-stricken, and running for a door no longer there.